We just met him in the report, and now we're welcoming him here in the studio, Professor Tilman Spohn, the planetary researcher. How did you actually experience the awakening of Rosetta and the lander? How was that for you?
I wasn't there in Darmstadt. I was sitting at my computer in my office, but I was following the event very closely. And I mean, I bet you I was nervous.
Also, probably because there's a lot of money involved, 1 billion euros.
Yeah, it's a lot of money, but I mean, you have to see that this money goes, to engineers and scientists. We're paying a generation of engineers and scientists here, and it's not, flying to the comet, actually.
Yeah. Or to Moon or Mars. You already knew what was going to happen there. Now, we know a lot about comets. We know they're made up of ice and dust and frozen gases and so on. Now, you will be bringing up quite a few instruments onto the comet. What are you actually looking for in detail?
Well, I mean, you always increase your knowledge, and looking in more detail. But, I mean, the big questions that we're trying to answer here are twofold. I mean, the first question, the more simpler question, is how do comets actually work? How do you produce the coma? But the more fundamental question is, we think that comets are, remnants from the accretion of the planets in the solar system, and we want to understand, what these pieces are like, and and understand better the formation of our solar system.
I understand. Okay. I mean, there is a theory that comets actually brought part of the water that we have on Earth. Did they maybe also bring life onto Earth?
Well, that is another question, another conjecture that people sometimes have. I'm skeptical on that, but I think from what I understand, is that life probably, originated on Earth. However, I mean, the pieces, the chemicals, that, are needed, are in part, at least, brought by comets.
I mean, the researchers had detected already glycine, one of the amino acids, in one of the comet's tails. So that's a good sign for actually bringing life onto Earth.
There are organic matter on comets. That is for sure, and they have formed there. But there is still, some way to go from organics to life, and that requires, special circumstances that probably, were more on Earth than on a comet itself. But, I mean, it is interesting.
How risky is the rest of the journey for Rosetta now?
Well, there is, I mean, the biggest risk, at least for the instruments that we have provided from DLR, is the landing of this lander, Philae. And we've never done this before. It's not really a landing. It's more a docking to this comet nucleus. And then, of course, the bringing of the instruments onto the surface, for those that are in the surface, is another risk. There's a chain of risks still there, and we're still, keeping our fingers crossed.
So do we. We keep our fingers crossed for the mission. Thanks a lot for the talk,
Thank you.
Professor Spohn.
Thank you.